Now that the dust had settled, let us analyze what happened on Thursday. We promise not go only on the Bulls, but we will go through each team and analyze their moves. We will start this episode with the Eastern Conference in alphabetical order.
It was absolute chaos, wasn't it? I feel like for the last, 3 weeks, the entire NBA world was just frozen.
Completely paralyzed. We were all just waiting for that one alert, the Giannis alert.
Exactly. Waiting for him to walk into the front office and demand a trade, and then nothing. He stays. But while those rumors kind of fizzled out, the rest of the league exploded.
Exploded is definitely the right word. We saw all-stars moving, contenders just shoving all their chips in, and we saw some teams doing, well, things I'm not even sure they get.
For sure. And that's our mission today, right? To really audit the thinking here for every team in the East, not just read a list of trades, but get into the why.
Yeah.
Because you could really see this massive split. You have the aggressive buyers, Cleveland, Washington, of all places, and then you have teams who are clearly terrified of the new financial rules.
The second apron.
Running for cover from the second apron, it shaped everything.
Okay, let's do this. Alphabetical order. We're starting with the Atlanta Hawks, a team that, isn't a contender, but they were super busy.
Extremely busy.
Right.
This is a team that is fully embracing a new direction.
So the big one, Kristaps Porzingis goes to Golden State for Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield. They also moved Luke Kennard and some smaller pieces. And you have to remember, this is after they already shipped out Trae Young.
Right, the context is everything. The Trae Young era is over.
So is this a full teardown, or are we calling it a retool?
I think it's a retool. It's a pivot. And the Porzingis deal is the perfect example. On paper, trading a guy like Porzingis seems huge, but he was basically a distressed asset for them.
Because he hasn't been playing.
He hasn't. And it's not just a nagging injury. That POTS diagnosis, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, that's a serious thing that affects conditioning and availability. So he was essentially dead money on their books. So to flip a guy who isn't available for a high upside athlete like Jonathan Kuminga, that's just smart asset management.
But what about Kuminga? I mean, he was supposed to be the guy for the Warriors, but he kind of stalled out. Why do the Hawks want him?
It's a free look. It's a no-risk flyer. He has that incredible athleticism. He fits the timeline of their new guy, Jalen Johnson. And here's the key. He has a team option.
Ah, so it doesn't work out.
They just decline it. No harm, no foul. It's a low-risk, potentially very high-reward move.
Yeah.
And getting Buddy Hield just replaces the shooting they lost with Kennard. It's all about flexibility.
Makes sense. Okay, let's move up to the Boston Celtics, the champs. They made a couple of moves that seem small, but are actually pretty huge financially.
Oh, this is all about the money.
They got Nikola Vucevic from Chicago for Anthony Simons and a pick, and they shipped out Xavier Tillman.
And this is where we have to talk about the second apron. I know it's dry, but you can't understand these moves without it.
Okay, break it down. Why is a title contender trading away a useful player like Tillman?
Because that second apron isn't just a tax, it's like a pair of handcuffs.
Yeah.
If you're over that line, you can't aggregate salaries and trades, you can't sign buyout guys, you lose control over future picks. It freezes you.
And by moving Tillman,
They ducked under it for this season, they escaped the handcuffs, and that resets their repeater tax clock.
which saves the owners a ton of money down the line.
Hundreds of millions potentially. It lets them spend like crazy in 2027 or 2028 to keep that Tatum and Brown core together.
Okay, the money makes sense, but the basketball fit. And Fernie Simons is a great scorer. Vucevic, he's a rebounder, but a defensive liability.
Simons was a luxury, though. A sixth man they didn't really need. What they desperately needed was big man insurance. If Porzingis gets hurt in the playoffs,
You can't have Luke Cornett guarding Joel Embiid.
you absolutely cannot.
Yeah.
Vucevic is that safety net. He's not a perfect player, no, but he can get you 12 rebounds in a playoff game and score in the post. It balances the roster and it fixes their books.
All right, from a team fixing its books to one just lighting them on fire, the Brooklyn Nets. Wow, waiving Cam Thomas right after the deadline.
Just cut him, yeah.
A guy who can score 20 points a game. I was stunned.
It seems stunning, but it's pure tanking logic. It's the most aggressive tanking move we saw.
But don't you want guys who can score?
You do, but Cam Thomas is what you'd call a floor raiser. He's good enough to get hot and win you a few random games in March that you absolutely do not want to win.
So he was too good for the tank.
In a weird way, yeah.
Yeah.
They want the best lottery odds possible. Waiving him clears minutes for their younger guys and, ensures they keep losing. They also took on some bad contracts just to get second-round picks.
It's a classic salary clearinghouse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's painful to watch now. but they're just hoarding assets for the future.
Okay, let's go to a team that I think had a really good deadline. The Charlotte Hornets. I'm calling them a sneaky winner.
I'm right there with you. They were very adult about their business.
They turned Colin Sexton and a prospect into Kobe White and Mike Conley. And then they added Tyus Jones and Xavier Tillman. That's a massive backcourt upgrade.
Huge. And they didn't give up Miller or LaMelo. Look at the fit. Sexton is a scorer, but he's chaotic. Kobe White brings a similar pace, but with more control.
And Mike Conley is just stability personified.
He's the teacher in the classroom. LaMelo can be brilliant, but wild. Conley and Tyus Jones are two of the smartest point guards around. It's a signal that they're trying to be competitive, and soon.
Speaking of not being competitive, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, man. The fire sale.
They traded Vucevic, Kobe White, Mike Conley, basically anyone who could win them a game.
The entire veteran core gone.
And in return, Jaden Ivey, Anthony Simons, Josh Giddey, and they now own 14 second-round picks. 14.
They're trying to corner the market on the 45th pick in the draft.
But look at that roster. It's all guards. They have Simons, Ivey, Giddey, Dillingham. Who's playing defense? Who's rebounding?
Nobody. And that's the whole point.
Yeah.
For years, the Bulls were stuck in the middle, play-in purgatory. Now they've finally picked a direction.
And that direction is straight down.
Straight to the bottom. The roster imbalance is a feature, not a bug. They want a top pick in 2026. And they're taking second draft flyers on guys like Ivy. If one of them hits, the rebuild gets a huge boost.
It'll be ugly, but at least it's a plan. Okay, let's flip to a team with the exact opposite plan. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
The all-in beacon has been lit.
They got James Harden for Darius Garland and a pick. Trading a young all-star for a guy who's, well, James Harden. It's a massive risk.
It is, but you have to look at why. The Garland and Donovan Mitchell backcourt, it just wasn't clicking. It felt redundant.
They're mini cooks.
And Garland's had those nagging toe injuries. But Harden brings the one thing they were missing.
Elite playmaking.
Elite playmaking. He's one of the best lob throwers ever. Think about what that does for Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. He unlocks them. Mitchell is the scorer. Harden is the architect.
So it's a bet that Harden has one more great playoff run left in him.
That's the bet. If he does, they might be the favorite in the East. If he doesn't, it could get ugly fast.
Okay, let's jump over to the Detroit Pistons. They sent Ivy to Chicago, brought in Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric.
This is basically Detroit admitting the Ivy experiment didn't work. He and Cade Cunningham just weren't meshing.
And Kevin Huerter is a shooter.
He's spacing. Cade is a drive-and kick guy who needs shooters around him to operate. Huerter provides that. It's not a flashy move, but it's a move for competence. They just want to look like a real NBA team.
I think we all want that for them. All right, Indiana Pacers. This one was fascinating to me.
A really clever buy for next year move.
They get Ivica Zubac from the Clippers, but they give up Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, and picks. And this is with Tyrese Halliburton out for the year.
Right. They know this season is a wash. So they identified their biggest weakness, rim protection, and they paid a premium to fix it for next season. Zubac is a huge upgrade over what they had.
But the pick protection is wild. It's protected 1-4 and 10-30.
It's like 4D chess.
Yeah.
They are actively betting that they'll be bad enough this season to land in the top 4 and keep their pick.
Wow.
So next year, they get a healthy Halliburton, they add Zubac, and they add a top 4 pick. It's high-stakes poker. If they accidentally win too many games and land at pick number 6, they lose it.
That's a huge gamble. Okay, let's talk about the two teams everyone was watching who did basically nothing. Miami and Milwaukee.
The big standoff.
Miami was tied to Giannis forever, and then crickets. They stood pat.
I'm sure Heat fans are frustrated. It's the run it back harder strategy. But the truth is, they just don't have the assets. They can't compete with the offers other teams could make.
So they're stuck in the middle.
The worst place to be in the NBA. Too good to tank, not good enough to really contend without another star.
And Milwaukee, they kept Giannis.
They held the line. They probably looked at the packages from Miami or Golden State and just said, nope, not enough. So they're kicking the can down the road to the summer, or maybe making one last push.
Let's do a quick hit around. New York Knicks get Jose Alvarado.
The perfect Tom Thibodeau player.
Yeah.
A defensive pest. With Miles McBride hurt, they needed a backup point guard.
Yeah.
Solid, low-cost move.
Orlando Magic trade away Tyus Jones.
A pure tax avoidance move. Disappointing. For a team that needed a shakeup, they chose to save money instead of getting better.
Philadelphia 76ers trade rookie Jared McCain to OKC.
That's a classic sell high. Daryl Morey loves collecting future picks. He's just stacking ammo to make a bigger trade down the line.
Toronto Raptors, they got Chris Paul just to wave him.
Just financial housekeeping, moving money around,
Right.
Nothing to see there for the on-court product.
And finally, we arrive at the Washington Wizards, and I just have to ask, what on earth are they doing?
It's the question of the deadline, isn't it?
They got Anthony Davis. This is after getting Trae Young in January, so their new core is Trae Young and Anthony Davis.
It's a choice. They are trying to fast forward a rebuild into a win-now team. But look at the pieces. 2 of the most expensive stars in the league.
And 2 of the most injury-prone.
And you're putting them with a super young core of Alex Sarr and Bilal Coulibaly. It's an incredibly risky gamble that just drags them toward the middle.
But I mean, the fit, Trae feeding AD in the pick and roll, that's deadly.
It's deadly on paper, sure. But in reality, you've probably capped your ceiling at a first-round exit, and you've ruined your draft odds to do it. It feels very impatient.
So when you zoom out, what's the big picture for the East after all this?
It's a conference defined by fear and ambition. Fear of that second apron which drove moves in Boston and Orlando, and the ambition of teams like Cleveland going all in because the top is so wide open.
And what's really wild to me is how many teams are betting against themselves.
Right.
The Pacers want to be bad to keep a pick. The Bulls are trying to lose on purpose. And then you have the Wizards betting everything on perfect health.
The real winners and losers of this deadline, they won't be decided in the playoffs. They'll be decided when those draft lottery ping pong balls drop. That's when we'll know who really won.
It's going to be a fascinating end to the season.
No question.
Thank you for listening to. Please comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Spotify, please leave a 5-star review. It will help the channel grow. Until next time, please check our previous episodes.